art can only take so much.
Welcome back to McPherson, Kansas. Folks, it comes down to this. There are 8 minutes remaining in regulation in our championship game of the National Division II Homeschool Athletic Association Tournament. And it is James Wilson with the ball who goes to Dylan Peters. These two teams have to be so tired. Patrick Schrader forces up a shot, and it is good. Patrick Kern in the lane goes up and scores. 35-32 our lead. 7:41 to play, but these Cornerstone Saints will not quit. They've come back time and time again. Good play designed by head coach John Peters. There's the ball tapped away. Nice defense by Dylan Peters. The ball will stay with the Cornerstone Saints. 7.5 minutes to play in our basketball game. It will be the Saints' Kristen Webb inbounding. Webb looks, and goes to Andrew Mercer, and it's tapped out of bounds again by Dylan Peters. Two good defensive plays by Dylan Peters, tossing the ball, knocking the ball out of bounds. Only 2 seconds elapsed. Webb looks. Oh my goodness, there they found, and Frederick and Aaron Mullen faked the three and pulled it back out. Noah Frederick dribbles to his left. Steinlage gets the ball and will stop and penetrate. Frederick will pop along the baseline. That shot is good. Nice looking shot by Noah Frederick. 35-34. Saints once again back within one. These two teams have played so hard and played so well. Do they have any fuel left in the tank? 6:53 to play in our basketball game. Which team will make the plays as we head toward the championship? Josh Patterson with the ball. A couple of dribbles and goes to Dylan Peters out high. Dylan held in check largely in our second half. Wilson tries to feed Patrick Schrader, and Patrick Schrader gets that basketball. He's bumped, goes up, and that shot no good, but he is fouled. Patrick in some trouble, hemmed in by a couple of players, was able to split the defenders, go toward the basket. Fouled in the act of shooting. He will have 2 shots.
Saints 24 called for the foul. Andrew Mercer.
Foul goes against Andrew Mercer. Mercer 6'6".
Timeout.
So, and Manhattan Chief will call timeout. So there's 6:29 to play in our championship basketball game. It's a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Chief Basketball on Angel 95. Welcome back to McPherson, Kansas. Patrick Schrader at the free throw line for a couple of free throws. Manhattan Chief lead by 1 with 6:29 to play. Boy, what a championship level basketball game this has been. Patrick at the free throw line for a couple of crucial free throws for Manhattan Chief. First free throw, way offline, no good. The three-point line was good to Manhattan Chief early. The free throw line has not been. Patrick right back to the charity stripe for a second free throw. His second free throw high and good. Nothing but net. 36-34, 6:29 to play, and it's an unforced error. The ball is thrown away. Miscommunication by the Saints on the inbounds play, and it is Chief basketball. The ball will go not where the ball went out, but where it came from, so it's underneath the basket of Manhattan Chief. James Wilson looks and goes to Josh Patterson. Josh is called for an out-of-bounds violation as he started to make the move up the far sideline. So it's a turnover. It is Saints basketball. Saints trail by 2, 36-34 with 6:23 to play in our basketball game. And the Saints could take the lead on this possession. Cross-court pass to Frederick. Frederick will stop and pop for 3. That three-pointer is good. And That three-pointer is good, and the Cornerstone Saints claim this lead for the first time since the early going. They lead 37-36 over Manhattan Chief. James Wilson with a couple of dribbles. Now Dylan Peters fires for three. That three-pointer is good. It's good. It's good. 39-37. Answer three nailed by Dylan Peters. What a huge shot. 5:50 to play in our basketball game. And here comes the Saints. They go to Frederick on the wing, and Frederick steps out of bounds as he starts to make a move. So both teams making big three-point shots, both teams making turnovers along the out-of-bounds line. Manhattan Chief leading by 2 again, 39-37, 5:40 to play in our basketball game. I wonder if we will see a lot of free throws by the time our game is done. And Patrick Schrader gets a rebound. That shot no good. And there's Chief with the ball underneath. Josh Patterson dribbles out of trouble. And Wilson drives into the lane. His shot is good. Wilson drives down the lane. Boy, there was quite an exchange. And James Wilson scores 41-37. Manhattan Chief in the lead, 5:11 to play in our basketball game. Steinlage between the leg dribble and goes to the wing. Right back to Steinlage. Steinlage will move, go into the lane. That shot is good. Nice move by Steinlage. He goes up and scores 39-41. Manhattan Chief lead by 2, 4:51 to play in our basketball game. It is championship basketball. James Wilson dribbles and cut off and goes up high, and the ball is corralled by the Saints. Wilson got in trouble under the basket. Here comes the Cornerstone Saints, 41-39, and nice defense by Patrick Schrader. The ball will stay with the Cornerstone Saints. 4:31 to play in our ball game. It is the championship game, the final game of the final day of ND2 tournament, and Steinlage is covered up along the baseline, dribbles inbounds, dribbles up court, and goes to Aaron Mullen. Mullen to Steinlage. They go inside, back to Steinlage. He looks and looks. They'd like to find Noah Frederick, Josh Patterson, where the shooters are. There's a deep three by Mullen. That three-pointer no good. James Wilson gets that rebound. And now Coach John Peters and James Wilson fires up a shot that's no good. Derek Bowman, that shot is blocked. It's taken away by the Saints. There's a Steinlage with a move to the basket. He goes up and scores. Our game is tied. Our game is tied. And Josh Patterson brings the ball up court. Our game is tied at 41-all. 3:43 to play in our basketball game in regulation. Dylan Peters with the ball and will go to Josh Patterson along the wing. Josh goes to Derek Bowman, to Dylan Peters. Dylan penetrates and fires. That shot, no good. It's tapped out, and the Saints get the basketball. 3:24 to play in our basketball game. Our game is tied at 41-all, and here comes the Cornerstone Saints. Mullen with the ball, dribbling up high, goes to, that foul will go against Patrick Schrader. That foul will go against Patrick Schrader. It will be the Saints inbounding.
Schrader.
And head coach John Peters calls timeout. We will take a 30-second timeout. Our game is tied at 41-all in the championship game of ND2 with 3:11 to play. You're listening to Chief Basketball on Angel 95. Welcome back to McPherson, Kansas Central Christian College. It is the championship game of the ND2 tournament, and what a battle it has been. Patrick Schrader has 6 points, Derek Bowman 10 in the first 3 quarters. Dylan Peters with 12 points, and James Wilson with 8. But it is the Saints who will have the basketball. It is the Cornerstone Saints who will be inbounding the basketball at their own end of the court. So Coach Doug Frederick has devised some sort of a play. Let's see what Steinlage will do. They go back up to Mullen up top. 3:04 to play in our basketball game. Couple of championship teams. Steinlage goes inside. Oh, that's a foul. The foul will go against Manhattan Chief. They went into the lane area, and only 2 fouls, so it's been a pretty clean game. It's really been a pretty clean game, so, and it is Mercer who gets that basketball, and Frederick goes to Mullen. Mullen working against this trapping 1-3-1 zone, and there's a basket. That shot is no good, and it is Chief basketball. Oh, the basket counts. The basket is counted as a goaltend. The basket counts as a goaltend. So the interpretation is that there is basket interference. So the Cornerstone Saints lead 43-41 with 2:42 to play in our basketball game. So count it as a 2-point basket. Patrick Schrader gets that ball and is cut off. Wilson gets it and tries to find Derek Bowman. Wilson with the ball back and goes to Dylan Peters. Where will Manhattan Chief find offense? And a carry, I believe a carry is called. Dylan Peters started to drive across the lane and was bumped and was called for the carry. 2:23 to play. It is the Saints with the lead, 43-41. So it is Mullen up top. Now the clock is the ally of the Cornerstone Saints. Mullen gets that basketball and goes to Steinlage. Steinlage drives into the lane. He elevates and scores. That shot no good. And Derek Bowman gets that rebound. Derek will stop and go to Josh Patterson. Patterson with the basketball. Patterson finds Derek Bowman, and Derek Bowman goes to Josh Patterson, and Josh's shot was no good, and it is the Saints who control it. Good opportunity for Manhattan Chief there. Now there's 1:38 to play in our basketball game, and Coach Doug Frederick will call timeout. So there is 1:34 to play in our basketball game, and it is the Cornerstone Saints who have pulled ahead in the latter stages of this basketball game. They lead 43-41, and it will be the Saints. We're going to keep keep the game here, as the Saints will be inbounding right in front of the scorer's table, just on the side of the Cornerstone Saints bench. These two teams have gone back and forth, back and forth. Manhattan Chief held the lead narrowly through most of this basketball game since the first half. But Cornerstone Saints kept fighting, kept chugging, and they have pulled ahead now by 2 with just over a minute and a half to play in our basketball game. Again, you're listening to Chief Basketball on Angel 95. We're proud to be part of the live stream from ND2, and we thank the many advertisers in Manhattan who supported Chief Basketball on Angel 95. So it will be Steinlage who will be inbounding the basketball for the Cornerstone Saints. Mullen brings the ball up court and goes cross court, and there it's Frederick who gets the basketball. And a quick pass. Steinlage takes an extra step and no call. There is Frederick with the basketball. Mullen, there they go to Steinlage. Long cross-court pass to Frederick. Frederick right back to Mullen. Frederick dumps the ball off. High pass. That is tracked down. And Derek Bowman goes after that basketball. 1:08 to play. Manhattan Chief needing a steal, a turnover, a foul. Coach Doug Frederick over at the scorer's bench, and timeout is called. We'll take this 30-second timeout. Manhattan Chief trailed 41-43 with 1:08 to play in our basketball game. You're listening to Chief Basketball on Angel 95. Welcome back to McPherson, Kansas, the championship game of ND2. And there is 1:08 to play in regulation as the Cornerstone Saints inbound, and a foul is immediately committed by James Wilson.
44 committing foul. James Wilson, first foul.
It is the first foul on James. Only 4 fouls committed by each team, so we're not in a free throw situation. Frederick will inbound. Oh, he's trapped, and a foul is called. The Saints player was trapped in the corner, and a foul was called. It'll be another inbounds play. Only 4 seconds have elapsed. 1:04 to play in our basketball game. There they go to the Saints player who went down on one knee, and a foul was called. He managed to not slide his pivot foot, so no travel occurred. And there's 1:01 to play. 1:01 to play in our basketball game. And it is the Saints inbounding. Tristan Webb looks, and finds Steinlage, who dribbles the ball off his knee, and another foul is called. So we are now to the bonus situation. 1-and-1 situation. Second foul committed by Derek. And Brady Steinlage is at the free throw line for some pressure free throws. There's 59.4 seconds to play in this basketball game. Steinlage's team leads by 2. He is at the free throw line. His first free throw, perfect. Right down the well, so it's a 3-point lead for the Cornerstone Saints. 44-41 our score. Steinlage right back to the free throw line for his second attempt. Steinlage's free throw high and good. It's a 4-point lead, 45-41, and Manhattan Chief trail by 4 with 56 seconds to play in our basketball game. Wilson finds Patrick Schrader open from the wing. That 3-point shot no good, and it's a travel by the Cornerstone Saints. That shot no good, and Saints got the basketball, committed to travel. 47.4 seconds to play in the basketball game. It is an inbounds play right under the basket of Manhattan Chief. Chief trail by 4, 47.4 seconds. And Dylan Peters will stop and pop for 3. That 3-pointer high. Patrick Schrader after that rebound. And it is controlled by the Saints. And it is Derek Bowman who commits the foul. 42 seconds remaining in our basketball game. The Cornerstone Saints, who fell to Manhattan Chief at the Beacon Center in December of 2016, are leading by 4 now, and Patrick Schrader takes a seat. Noah Saltz comes into the game for Manhattan Chief. Andrew Mercer at the line for a 1-and-1. That shot is perfect. Big free throws by the Cornerstone Saints. And Andrew Mercer right back to the line for a second free throw. That one rolls high. It's tapped out, and it will be the Saints who control the basketball. The shot was no good, but the Saints went up high and tapped the ball out to where it could be corralled before it went out of bounds by the Cornerstone Saints. And that's a big play. Noah Frederick got that basketball, and Frederick will be at the free throw line. Frederick's free throw high and good. So the free throw line is making it possible for the Cornerstone Saints to extend their lead. Now a 6-point lead, and here comes Patrick Schrader back into the lineup, but the officials don't call it, and Noah Frederick rattles in that second free throw. That is now makes it a 3-possession lead. That is a 3-possession lead for the Cornerstone Saints. There's 37.8 seconds, and Cornerstone Saints lead Manhattan Chief 48-41. You're listening to Chief Basketball. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Chief Basketball on Angel 95. Welcome back to McPherson, Kansas. Manhattan Chief trail 48-41 with 37.8 ticks of the clock remaining in our championship contest. And head coach Doug Frederick calls for some full court pressure. Dylan Peters will stop and pop for three. That shot is no good. It's a held ball. Noah Frederick got that basketball. The alternate possession stays with the Cornerstone Saints. There's 28.1 seconds to play. And it is the Saints inbounding against full court pressure now. James Wilson goes for the steal, and a foul is called. 25.2 ticks of the clock. Cornerstone Saints have come on strong in the later stages of this championship basketball game, and they have made a living at the free throw line. And it is Tristan Webb at the free throw line to try to further extend this lead for the Cornerstone Saints. That free throw, perfect. Outstanding free throw shooting. When Manhattan Chief played the Saints at their previous game at the Beacon Center, Chief was 10 for 10 from the free throw line down the stretch, which led to that win in overtime. And the Cornerstone Saints are returning the favor tonight. Excellent free throw shooting. Second free throw high and perfect. So it's 50-41. It's suddenly a 9-point lead with 23 seconds to play. James Wilson will stop and pop a deep three. That is no good. Josh Patterson gets that ball and pulls it back out. Wilson will again fire for three. That shot no good. 12 seconds. The ball will stay with Manhattan Chief. 11.7 seconds, but it is a 9-point game. So as Manhattan Chief has had to hurry those three-point shots, they have not been good. And head coach Doug Frederick is going to bring in his reserves. And the Cornerstone Saints will celebrate this soon-to-be victory in our championship contest. Head coach John Peters has Luke Cassada in the game, so he has three-point shooters in the game. Wilson, Cassada, Peters, and Josh Patterson. And that's another block on a three-point shot. 8 seconds. Wilson commits the foul, and it will be Saints going the other way. That is a double bonus, so it will be Cornerstone Saints with free throws. Manhattan Chief led 3/4 of the way through this basketball game, but it is the Cornerstone Saints who finished with a flurry and appears they will prevail tonight in the championship game of ND2. So the Cornerstone Saints played the Chief at the beginning of this season. It was the Chief who came away victorious. Tonight it looks like it is the Cornerstone Saints who will come away victorious. The first free throw no good by Trevor Pogue. Second free throw up and rolls away, no good. James Wilson with the rebound. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Josh Patterson gets the ball. It's tapped away. Josh fires a deep three. That is no good. Our ball game is over. Our ball game is over, and the championship is in the books, and it is the Cornerstone Saints who prevail by a score of 50-41 and claim the championship of ND2. So